The SA Bone Marrow Registry is warning essential skills will be lost if the country keeps relying on overseas countries to source donors. It said there are currently 74,000 potential donors on their database, and it's vital to increase that number. Let's discuss this now with Jane Ward. She's from the registry, joining us now this hour. Good afternoon, Jane. Welcome to Today here on eNCA DSTV channel 403. Are we seeing a lot of requests for donors from other countries?
Yes, so we do see a lot of requests for donors from other countries. However, so how the process works is that each registry will recruit donors onto their registry. And then if a patient becomes sick, for instance, with leukemia or other hematological diseases such as bone marrow failure syndromes or genetic abnormalities, they then approach registries to search on their database locally as well as internationally for a matched unrelated donor, which is then sourced within the country into South Africa.
That sounds like, sorry, Jane, to come in there, just in the interest of time. That sounds like it's a normal thing to do. But you, as the South Africa Bone Marrow Registry, you've cautioned against that, to say people must not go to other registries to source donors. What is a concern? What are you worried about?
Okay, so we're cautioning other registries against outsourcing local stem cell donors. So it's not donors, but donor searches outside of the country. There's various reasons and advantages. This allows the retention of the data within our database. And most importantly, from my side, is keeping the skills within the country. It helps build capacity as well as key competencies among the next generation of South African workforce. We don't want to have that expertise lost because these searches are being done in another country.
Jane, yeah, just help me to understand. Yes. Sorry, Jane, help me to understand why would skills go? Because what is happening is that they are searching other registries outside South Africa in terms of outsourcing, as you said, donor searches. Why would they then leave? Why would South Africa lose those skills?
Okay, so if a search, so within the South African Bone Marrow Registry, for instance, we do searches in our own database as well as internationally. So when somebody is a match, we have staff that do these searches in our offices, and then they do and analyze the data and the genetics and all of that within South Africa. And then they give feedback to the transplant centers, who then decide on which donor they want. And then they ask the SABMR for advice of who is the best match donor. At the end of the day, it is the transplant center's decision, but we play a huge role in assisting them in finding that matched unrelated donor. If, for instances, those searches went outside, we have international people doing those searches, and they are giving their expertise, where I am a firm believer that the expertise should remain in South Africa.
No, that I understand that. And is compatibility an issue in those searches?
Yes, so when we do searches locally, so just to give you an idea, you're more likely to find a match within your own ethnic group. So, and haplotypes and frequencies, which is when we do searches, we do a lot of haplotype frequencies, and we do see that certain haplotypes, which is found in the short arm of chromosome 6 in your DNA, we normally find that there are certain haplotypes that are more specific to certain population groups. And we can see this definitely within the South African population. And given how diverse the genetic pool is within Africa, it's good. I think it's good to have that expertise and the competency within South Africa. We should retain it. We shouldn't be outsourcing it.
Yeah, and capacity-wise, do we have enough in South Africa? And that is why you are advocating for retention of the skills.
Yes, we don't have enough people. We do have a program where we have biannually we have an intern come in. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. We have an intern come in, and we offer graduates the opportunity to train in this highly specialized field as part of the DSI HSR internship program, which is funded by the Human Research Council as well as by the Department of Science and Innovation. We want to keep the expertise here. We want people to know what it is and want to enjoy doing that sort of thing. It might seem boring to some people, but some people love the fact that Africa is the human cradle of humankind, and the
No,
different
it's not boring.
ethnicities
It's
and
not boring at all.
haplotypes all
It's not
came here.
boring at all. It's a wonderful thing to have and claim as a continent. And we're such a diverse continent, very rich with all different, as you said, national ethnic groups. So my understanding is that when patients or transplant centers choose you as the SAMBMR, as their registry of choice, they are helping, in fact, to build the expertise and the capacity and keep it at home.
That is correct, yes. What you've said is you've hit the nail on the head. We need to keep the expertise here. I would like to keep the expertise here so that one day when I retire, somebody else can then learn from it and carry on from there.
Yeah. Now, before we conclude, where are the biggest gaps now currently in terms of marrow donation, bone marrow donation in South Africa? Where are you finding bottlenecks and challenges? This issue you've handled, you've spoken about it, you're appealing for people to use you, but what other kinds of challenges are you facing?
Oh, I could spend a couple of hours talking to you. But one of our main challenges is funding. We are a non-profit organization. We also have a patient assistance program that provides assistance to those patients that cannot afford the costly costs involved in obtaining a donor, whether it be from South Africa or overseas. So we cover the costs of their donor so that they can get a second chance at life. So we're always looking for funding. We do not receive at the moment government funding, so we rely solely on grants and sustainability to keep the business going. So that is a huge one. And then we also need more donors on the database. The more donors we have on the database, the more patients we can help, and the more patients. So the chance of finding a match is 1 in 100,000 of a chance. We know for a fact that not just in South Africa, but worldwide, there are more Caucasians on the database than there are of other ethnic groups. If we had to run a search today for a Caucasian patient, there's a 72% chance that they will find their match. It drops to 32% for patients of other ethnic groups. So we need to create that awareness. So there's another issue, creating awareness within other ethnic groups that it's okay to join the registry. It's not as painful and stigmatized as it seems.
Okay, thank you very much, Jane, for your time. I guess the information will be available on your website, which will be, I guess, www.sabmr.co.za. Thank you very much for your time and good luck. That's Jane Ward there. She's, of course, with the South African Bone Marrow Registry. At the top of